How's it going, everybody? This is Lou Shiva with Worldwide Corals, and I'm here with one and only Julian Sprung from Two Little Fishies. How are you, Julian?
Good to see you, Lou.
And we're here to see his beautiful reef tank. Now, Julian, give me the rundown on this tank. Who built the tank? What's inside the tank? The lighting you're using, your flow.
Okay.
The animals in there, your fish. Your fish are very interesting.
I'll cover a few things. So Bob and Karen, many of you will know from exotic aquariums and in Miami. They've recently sold their shop. It wasn't that they built it because it was my birthday. I ordered it as a 40th birthday gift for myself. Nice. I wanted to have a larger reef tank. At the time I had about a 100-gallon system that had been running for a number of years. Yeah. And this one in total with the sump and everything is closer to 300 gallons. It's 72 inches long, 36 inches wide. I think it's around 27 in height, but the actual water height is lower. And I did the lower water height because originally I had a wave maker on it. And so we had that little rocking action, and I wanted to have the space to do that. I no longer do that flow. I had more gorgonians at that time, and there was the Tunzi wave box.
Yeah, you had them back here.
I had it in the corner, and all the gorgonians were rocking back and forth, and it was great. It was a little bit challenging because as the stony corals grew bigger, that movement tended to want to make them rock or even fall over, and it got a little more challenging to, as the corals grew bigger to keep it that way, and I decided to stop it.
Just like the last video, we're gonna hide an Easter egg of Casper in this video, and if you're the first one to find us via DM to our Instagram, we're gonna go ahead and send you a box of corals if you're in the 48 states. If you're not in the 48 states, we're gonna send you some t-shirts and some other swag. Good luck.
I have a number of your run-of-the-mill, of course, yellow tang, purple tang, and this Jardinite tang. Those are great maintenance fish and have wonderful personality, beautiful to look at. There's a Imperator angel who's...
he's cool.
I think it's a female.
Okay.
Well, there goes that light. Anyway, real personality in the tank, and people say, you can keep an Imperator in a reef tank. Well, you can, but there are certain things that I can't keep with it. Like you'll notice there's not a single zoanthid in here. Big eater. Big eater. Yeah, you can see, as Imperators do, it turns on its side, goes upside down, and
What do you feed them usually?
Well, I feed mostly frozen food aside from sea veggies. So every day I feed either the sheets of sea veggies or the flakes. We have our mag feeder in the corner, and it's easy enough to, grab the sea veggies flakes and just put them right there. Watch, see what happens. The fish,
I love the sea veggie flakes because of that. It's so easy.
They just come along and. There's a snail on the feeder right now, classic, of course. That's going to make it off level. So.
And there goes the frenzy.
Yeah. And then these guys will just wait back here because they're going to get food.
Oh, you have a flame hawk.
Yes,
okay.
There's two. There's a pair in there.
A pair?
Yeah. There's also a regal angel, Indian Ocean variety. And that one has been well behaved, as have other ones that I've had over the years. Although the more people come and point to that saying, oh, doesn't he eat corals? It's like you're training him. You can't say anything because after people do that, then I suddenly will see him take a nip here and there. But he's not.
He hears you.
Yeah, he's not really bothering too much.
No.
Anyway, in addition, there's an angelfish here that Matt Wittenrich bred and produced. It's not one that you would find in the wild. They call it Blue Phantom. And it's taken years for it to develop that color pattern.
It's amazing.
And you can see it's still only about that big, so it's slow growing. The two clowns in here survived the hurricane. The black Ocellaris was the male in a pair that I bought in 1996 in Pittsburgh, in a shop in Pittsburgh.
Get out of here. 96?
In 96. The female, the original female, died in Hurricane Irma. The Percula clown here was the male and a pair, and the female also died in Irma.
Right.
So they were separate pairs. And after the hurricane, I put these two in the pond, and they paired up. So now the male Black Ocellaris is a female. It has changed.
Oh, wow.
And so
that's crazy how they changed like that.
Yeah, after so many years.
After so many years, yeah,
Yes.
that's even more remarkable for
Yep.
sure.
So, yeah, funny little stories. Of,
Yeah, no.
You know.
How many years has this been set up for now?
I'm now 57, so it's 17 years.
17 years, huh?
Yep. Which means it's time to consider a new glass tank, because at the 15-year mark is when you think, you know.
So for like the seams and everything
Yeah,
like that,
exactly.
you gotta really think about that. That's a big testament to Bob and Karen. I mean, 15 years, not even a leak, huh?
Not at all, no problem. I mean, look at the seams. You don't see bubbles at all. They're perfect.
No.
But
great glass too, no bubbles.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a Sprung stunner chalice in here?
I did, and the last time Tommy was here, it was like about that big by about like that, and it was really occupying all of this area here.
I think I remember seeing that.
Back. And I just decided that it was time to take it out.
Yeah.
And what I did is I put it in the pond because it was so big. Where was I going to put it?
Right.
And it was an ordeal, you know. I had my son help me, you know. We had a big bucket, you know, and I lifted. I had to make the lights up higher and got it over there.
Big project.
And it looked great in the pond, and then it rained.
Same day?
No, not the same day, but within a few weeks of it being first put in there. And the thing is, it was tall. Yeah. And that meant that it was up toward the surface. And the way my pond works when it rains is you have this freshwater layer that floats on the top and goes over. So we had a really good rain, and that freshwater layer killed the top of the Sprung stunner. And if you know Echinopora, when you kill Echinopora, it gets that brown slime, that jelly that will spread and nuke everything.
Yeah.
So I just basically took it out, fragged it, and that was it. Yeah. So I killed that big colony. But I have, there's a frag of it here.
So you have a frag in there, okay.
I'm starting, and that big colony grew from 2017.
Yeah.
So it was really only, you know, a few years of growth from a, you know.
Yeah. That's a miraculous grower, that coral.
Yeah, it grows so fast.
For sure, it grows so fast.
Right, so that was, you know, grown from a survivor of Hurricane Irma into that big. Yeah.
A lot of cool stories in this tank, that's for sure.
So I no longer use the wave box. Right now, I just have these two power heads in the corner, and there's really not enough flow in the tank. I need to enhance it because of how much coral there is.
Is there corals growing on the
heads? Yeah, there's coralline algae and coral.
And coral.
You know, I mean, proper maintenance of power heads, you want to take them out and soak them in those cleaning solutions, but I like how you don't see the power heads.
You really don't see them. No, you're right about
they
that.
disappear. And that's to me, it's an aesthetic. You know, you see a lot of the tanks, whether it's in Tony's book or you see all, you know, the Reef of the Month online, and they all have these power heads of various different types, and they're showing them off because they're expensive and they really do their job. But I look at those tanks and I'm like, I want to crop that photo and not see that. You know?
Well, this is your own style, you know.
Exactly. I have my own style.
Absolutely.
These are Radians.
These are, what generation are these?
I think these are 4s and that's a 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I can tell they're different,
Right.
So 3 cover the whole tank?
Yes. Yeah, that is enough for the tank.
Very cool. Do you control with Mobius, or you just kind of just...
No, they run full blast. So they're controlled with a timer, basically.
Okay. Old school.
Old school.
That's
I laughed when I saw Sanjay does the same thing.
Does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that a AI Soul Blue, or is that the...
It's the AI 52.
Oh, 52 Hydra.
Yeah, it's a Hydra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I see a rare coral right here, this Turbinaria.
Yeah. You know I got that from you, right?
I thought you did, yeah.
I did.
I kind of remember.
So there's another story. That's the, Heronensis. You call him Hero, right?
Yeah, the Hero,
Yeah. So I got that from Victor. I think it was the first time you came here.
I think it might have been,
Yeah,
I
right.
think
So it was a
yeah.
little frag. And I grew that. If I had known you were going to ask about that, I would have had the thing here. I grew it, big colony.
Yeah.
And that colony was here in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And for a period of about a month, I was seeing infections. No, like here and there, the corals were losing tissue. Here and there, little infections.
Yeah.
And it was like as if something was just throwing little bombs here and there. And then one day I turned off the flow and I looked and I found it. It was the Heronensis, which was totally socked in and not getting enough flow. It was covered with brown jelly, okay? And I was like, that's what it is. So it had been burning and throwing these things off.
Spewing it out, yeah.
And it's kind of a brownish coral, and I didn't notice it until I turned off the flow, didn't see it. So I took it out, and on the it was gone. Yeah. On the underside was a living bit, and that's that.
That's what you have now.
Yes. That is an echinophora that Jake brought back from the Solomon Islands. If you don't have that, of course, I'm happy to give you a frag, and we want to see that spread around. On this side, there's a phosphane reactor with hydrocarbon and phosphane.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the phosphane reactor.
Yeah.
Super reliable.
And on the other side, you'll see that there's sponges and not much else.
So you have like a cryptic zone down there?
Yeah, it's a cryptic zone.
Cryptic zone, yeah.
Right.
Neat. Is that calcwasser next to it?
Yes, this is our calc stirrer, and that's connected to a timer and a pump, just a regular pump.
Okay.
And that comes on about once an hour.
Okay.
That's how it's topping off and giving it a little bit of calcium and alkalinity. I also add sea balance to keep up with calcium and alkalinity. So I have both methods going on, but there's no skimmer, nothing sophisticated in here.
Simple. Simple is best.
The real reason there's no skimmer is that the stand is really too short.
Yeah.
I need a sump of a certain height.
Sure.
And then, where are you going to put a skimmer? So when I have a new tank built, which I've been talking about doing for a couple of years already, my plan is to have a section here where I can put a skimmer.
In the back?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be using our in-out as the overflow instead of this central overflow. Okay. And I'm going to go into a section where I can fit a skimmer. Okay. And then overflow and drain into a sump.
What kind of food do you use? Is that the Hikari? Or?
I do use Hikari mysis. I use Piscine mysis and their the copepods. Rod's Food has Pacifica plankton, wonderful. Yeah, we've got plenty of LRS, Reef Frenzy, and Fish Frenzy. They love it. Yep. Fish and Frenzy. Of course, I had mentioned the Pacific plankton. Yeah. And classic forever, as long as I've been in the hobby. San Francisco Bay brine shrimp, you can't beat that.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're just doing a variety of things, which is probably the best thing to do for the tank,
Right. And I have some dry foods, but that's something that I'll put in the auto feeder. I'll mix. Oh, this as well.
Phytoplankton.
Right. That is for filter feeders. So I mix this with water from the tank and dose it a couple of times a week, basically. Yeah. That's it.
How about your AquaPower? Do you dose AquaPower?
Yeah, I don't dose it. I add it by hand.
Okay, so you kind of add it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. So very just when I'm feeding, usually I'll take the AquaPower and pour it in the tank at the same time.
Yeah, it's better for more than just aquas. It's better for all the corals.
All the corals.
Yeah. So
correct.
Remember that. AquaPower for all your corals, not just for aquas.
Right. It enhances their pigments. You'll notice the corals become more fluorescent. And they get puffier. Polyps expand more.
Yeah. That's definitely a supplement that works well.
Thanks.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And we have other
what else you got over
dry foods.
Give us the rundown.
Zoplan, again, it's a powdered plankton food. It's one of the first on the market. Now there are more than you can
many.
shake a stick
Yeah,
at.
many.
And you know, several varieties of dried zooplankton that you're covering a whole range of size.
Yeah.
Mix it with the water in the aquarium, which I do. Sometimes, actually most of the time, I just broadcast it.
Yeah.
When I have time, I'll use Julian's thing, you know,
Julian's
spot
thing,
feed
yeah.
it. That's
No one uses the Julian thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your sea veggies.
Yes, of course.
And your sea veggies.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And this is the purple sea
yeah.
veggies, which is a raw nori.
Yeah.
It has a different smell, a different flavor.
But not really sheets, right? It's more.
It is sheets.
Is it sheets? Yeah. Okay.
But the raw nori hasn't been heated, of course.
Okay.
So it will fall apart more readily.
Okay.
The green sea veggies is the same seaweed, just heated, and that makes it stick together a little bit more.
Kind of binds it.
It binds it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I never
And
knew
it gives
that.
gives it a different flavor as well.
Yeah.
So some fish will prefer raw,
Yeah.
some will prefer baked.
Yeah.
But you know, they're both nutritious.
What's your favorite?
Personally, I mean, I like them both. You know, because I mean, you mean
mix
to
them
make
up.
sushi?
Yeah.
When you say what's
Sushi
my
for dinner,
favorite,
yeah.
I do eat them.
Yeah. No, we just had some great
We
sushi.
just had,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was amazing. This is your refugium. Very different.
Yeah, you know,
Beautiful too.
some people will put the refugium behind the aquarium or underneath the aquarium. I think most people just have a sump as a refugium, and so it's hidden. I like the idea of a refugium as a display, and that's what I did here. So basically we have two aquariums that are connected, and one filters the other. You could say this is my display and it's filtered by the reef tank, right? Or vice versa.
Vice versa,
you know,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know, they exchange. They exchange water and nutrients and whatnot. So I like corals, and they tend to overgrow my aquarium. So whereas a refugium is typically an algal refugium, eventually it becomes more of a coral refugium, as you can see there. But I do have some algae, and I do have the mangrove in there.
The mangrove is very beautiful, inspiring. That's where we got our mangrove from. It's doing so good in our lagoon tank right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even point out there were a couple of things that I picked up from you at the last show, but lights are out. There was a Bernard Pour, a beautiful one I got from you. It was over here. It's kind of a deep red with yellow polyps. Yeah.
Oh, from Reefapalooza.
At Reefapalooza, yeah.
Now you mentioned Reefapalooza, you're going to be talking in New York on the 24th?
Yes.
Yep,
yes.
in the Meadowlands, 12:30. Mm-hmm. You have your topic picked out yet?
Well, people are always asking me about my pond, and I've done a couple of lectures on it, and each time I do it, there's always something new for me to say about it. So I plan to talk about my pond, all the different details of how I planned it, set it up, things that have gone wrong. I mean, a new one just happened, the chiller just died, and things are not as happy. I mean, I'm not losing anything, they just don't look so good right now.
Okay. Look forward to it. I'll be there.
Yes.
Come see. Yeah, love to hear about the pond. Hopefully next time we come down to Miami, we can see the pond and do some video on that. You know, during the day or something like that.
It should be doing much better by then. I'll have the chiller by Friday. And we'll swap it out. And that's one of the things that I've learned, and I'll mention in the lecture that look, I don't really have an indoor place to put the chiller. So the chiller is located outside. We're here in a very humid environment, salt air from the canal. So the chiller only lasts a few years, and it's something that's sacrificial. You just use it and then replace it. Because what else are you going to do? I mean. Could I build a little house and air condition that and make something for the chiller? I don't know. Construction is no fun.
No, we'll stick to the fish and the corals.
Yes.
Yeah, much nicer.
Thank you, Lou.
Julian, thank you. Thanks for the hospitality. Love everything.
Pleasure.
Can't wait to come back and see how everything does.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay wet.
Stay wet. Ooh, ooh.